This is a demonstration about how I would introduce the writing of common fractions. We'd probably start this in the maths language stage, depending on where the children, how they were coping with the work that had been done beforehand. And it'd be a staged approach that we use when we're moving from that maths language stage to the symbolic language stage. We'd demonstrate first by using our concrete resources that we would have used lots of times beforehand, and then we'll demonstrate, write and say what you see in stages over quite a few lessons. So there's a definite stages that we would use in order to start the writing, the symbolic writing of fractions. And in the maths language stage, we would have already been starting to write, for instance, if we're having a look here at the sixths, we would know that they were called sixths. We would have already gone through that, the language around them, but we will be speaking about each component as one part out of 6 parts. Now, the actual way that we write this is very important because it's linked to later symbolic representation. So 1 part out of 6 parts. This is 1 part out of 6 parts. The next, we might move them on to say, well, we know that they're parts now. We're aware that these are parts. So we can actually say 1 out of 6. So this is 1 out of 6. And in fact, we could probably say, write it on here, 1 out of 6. Once we then move through and have practiced that more, we can work then into more mathematically symbolising using numbers. So we could then start saying, well, look, we know that the number 1 is a 1. So we don't need to write out the word anymore. 1 out of 6. And in fact, again, we could here say it is 1 out of 6. Once the students have practiced that quite a bit, we could then move into the full symbolic representation using the vinculum, or just the line, like we would call it with the students. So we could actually say, instead of writing the words out of, we could actually just use the line. So we say it's 1 out of 6. So again, we could use our concrete resources to say it's 1 out of 6. This is this, as I said before, would happen over a number of lessons. And the next thing that we would be doing is to reinforce and practice what we mean here by the part and by the total number of parts. But at this stage, we now can see that the students have moved from writing 1 part out of 6 parts, which is what it means, through the different stages to 1 out of 6.